Hello, this is Mr. Collier, and today we are isolating for a variable. We're changing the subject, we're solving for a certain variable. In this case, we're solving for x, and we've got square roots, so we undo the square root, so we square both sides, and then we get x minus 2 equals 9, and simply add 2 to both sides, and we get x equals 11. Next case, we're solving for k, so we'll square both sides, and get m over k equals n squared. Now we can multiply both sides by k, and then we get km equals kn squared. Actually, there's no k on the left, that canceled. And to solve for k, we divide both sides by n squared. K equals m over n squared. Okay, next, solve for y. We need to get rid of fractions, so we'll multiply both sides of the equation by 1 plus y and by d, which is the same as cross multiplying actually. So we're going to multiply by d and 1 plus y. This d will cancel, and over on this side d and a 1 plus y, and these will cancel. So what you're left with is d times 1 minus y and c times 1 plus y, which we could have done from the beginning by just cross multiplying. So this is d times 1 minus y is d minus dy equals c plus cy. And to solve for y, we need to get the y's on one side and then factorize. So let's do that. We get d equals c plus cy plus dy. So d minus c equals cy plus dy. And then we factor out the y. Okay, and then we just divide both sides by c plus d. We have y equals d minus c over c plus d. Okay, next one we're solving for the variable k, and that's in the square root sign. We can multiply both sides by n and then square both sides, or we can square both sides right away. So we get k minus m over n squared equals 1 over m squared. Multiply both sides by n squared, and add m. Okay, in the next example, we're solving for x, so we can square both sides right away, or we can divide by 4 pi. And we get this. Then we can square both sides. We get g squared over 16 pi squared equals x squared plus t squared. Subtract t squared. And then square root. However, when you have x squared equals something, you should do positive negative square root. Okay, lastly, and we don't have a whole lot of room for that, we're solving for x, so let's divide both sides by a first. If I divide this side by a, I get just a squared divided by a is a, so we get root x squared minus n over m equals a over b. Then we square both sides. Okay, then we multiply by m and then add n and then square root it. It's going to do that in one step. Multiply by m, add the n, and then square root.